Yo, what's up everybody? This is SloMo back at you with another video. Today we're going to talk about Astral Chain. Astral Chain is a game that's coming out. It is an exclusive on the Nintendo Switch. Should be coming out August 30th. It is being developed by Platinum Games. Platinum Games previously made the Bayonetta games and Nier Automata. This game is an action adventure game similar to their other games, but this one will also delve into some light exploration, and we're going to get into that because Nintendo has recently, earlier this week, released a 9-minute gameplay video that also kind of went over how the combat works, the systems, the gameplay mechanics, and some parts of the story too. So let's just get into it. The story for Astral Chain takes place in a semi-open world. There are alien beings called chimeras that have invaded the Neo-Tokyo region from the astral plane, and they're polluting the city with something called red matter. And this red matter is pulling people who live in the city, the citizens, into these wormholes. You, the player, will play the role of either a male or female neuron agent, which a neuron agent looks to be like a police officer in the city, and your job is to protect the world from basically an apocalypse created by the chimeras. Now, if you choose to play as a female neuron agent, then the male counterpart will serve as an NPC twin of your character, and there is a very deep character creator, which I've seen also as well. So I wonder, something I don't know for certain, but I do wonder if your opposite sex counterpart, let's say if you, with this character creator, you make a character that is of a different race than the default character, then would that also change the race of your other opposite sex counterpart, because they're supposed to be your twin? I say this because it reminds me of Mass Effect Andromeda, not in quality, but due to the fact that game had twins, and if you change the race of your character you want to play with, it also changed the race of your twin. So moving on. So that's just something to think about. Not certain it's a big deal or not, but just, I'm just throwing things out there. Moving on. So moving on to the combat. What makes the combat in this game different than previous Platinum games is the addition of living weapons called legions. Now, legions can be summoned during battles to fight alongside your character and hence provide aid in combat. Now, there are different types of legions, and they all have different abilities that can prove beneficial to your situation. Players can swap between a legion in real time, and also, that kind of makes the combat a little bit more strategic. Now, you won't be able to keep your legion indefinitely, and what I mean by that is that whenever you summon your legion, there's a gauge that will slowly deplete, and once it hits empty, then your legion is going to disappear. So there are 5 different types of legions. There's a arrow legion, an arm legion, beast legion, an axe legion, and a sword legion. So to get into that, let's talk about the sword legion first. The sword legion is the most basic type of a legion, which it does slashing attacks, and it can also be used to stun enemies. So the beast legion is next, and the beast legion summons different creatures which will do quick damage with their claws. Next up is the axe legion. And the axe legion can be used to create shields to prevent incoming damage, and also it's kind of like a heavy weapon style, which does damage with long slashing attacks. The arrow legion is preferred for players who want to pretty much play from like a ranged attack style. The arrow legion can also shoot lasers onto enemies. And finally, the arm legion, which is actually the melee build of the Legion. What it does is has heavy damage from his arms, but it's slower than the Sword Legion, for example. But it also can be worn as armor to prevent damage from incoming attacks. So it seems like all these Legions have a particular style of attack, but then they also have something unique about them that you can't get with any other Legion. Now, this is something that I'm really interested in because I love games that give me more replayability. If, say, I'm playing through the game and I'm really enjoying the Sword Legion, but then I want to switch to the Beast Legion, or I can just really start to try all these different Legions and see which ones really fit for me, or which ones that I decide to master and move on to another. So it seems to me like this would be something that will allow players to continue to keep playing Astral Chain after they maybe like beat the story, want to go back and try it with a different Legion just to see how the gameplay is different. So moving on, I mentioned earlier about exploration, and this game has a pretty cool element to it with exploration and investigation. So you are a police officer, and so as a police officer, there are going to be times where there are going to be mysteries or puzzles to solve within the game, and you'll need to explore different locations, and then you'll enter into investigations to try to solve crimes. There is a mode called Iris, which is very similar to, say, like Batman's tech in the Arkham games, when he would go into detective mode and be able to kind of see footprints, things like that. Iris is similar to that, and it's going to help you with your investigations. It will analyze the environment for you and essentially be a tool that you'll use to be able to complete the task at hand. It seems like these investigations and using Iris is going to be a big part of the game and the story, which will be a nice change of pace from, say, some of their previous games or some previous action games where literally every single section of it is just the same gameplay, the same, just in a different area, a new stage, a new area. This will, it's a good change. It seems like it was going to be a very good change of pace. So before I finish up, I do want to go over some potential concerns that I have. This game looks amazing. Astral Chain, ever since I first saw it, it just looked great, and it still looks great. All this gameplay looks amazing, but regardless of that, I do have concerns with the Switch hardware. My concerns are that I'm not quite certain that Platinum Games can be able to get a stable performance for this game, a very action-oriented game and combat, and a game that looks this good, although stylish, and it's using a certain style that shouldn't be too taxing on the hardware. The Switch is just really underpowered hardware for the times. I do have concerns that this game will have some performance issues, namely frame rate issues, but hopefully Platinum has been working on this and will get a stable experience out of it. And no, I haven't played the game yet, but I'm going to recommend any Switch gamers that are going to play this game, if you haven't already, get a Pro Controller, because I can't imagine trying to play this game with the Joy-Cons. I just can't. I'm not even going to try it. So I'm going to use my Pro Controller for 100% of my time playing this game. That's for sure. So you guys tell me what you think of all this new info on the game. Are you going to buy Astral Chain, or you can't wait to play it? Do you just not care? You don't know whether you want it? Are you still on the fence? You guys let me know in the comment section. And also hit the like button if you like the video, and subscribe to my channel. I usually do at minimum one video per week, but as of now I've been kind of doing a little bit more. So hey, check my other videos out, and you guys take care. Have a great one.